Ves Bissouma and Pape Matar expose Casemiro and make it clear that Manchester United desperately need Sofiane Amrabat in to back up the Brazilian international. Meanwhile, up front, the ineffectiveness of Anthony Dos Santos, Marcus Rashford, and Alejandro Garnacho makes it clear that Mason Greenwood deserves to be right back into that team, regardless what you feel. Welcome to the hotspot on this sad day when Manchester United has lost 2-0 to Spurs for the first time since 2018. We are losing to them in their yard. It is indeed a sad day, but one that should give us an early wake-up call 2 games into the season that a lot of work has got to be done. Today, I'm here to not only tell you about the updates, the game, my analysis of the game, but also attack some hypocrites who pretend to care so much about Mason Greenwood's girlfriend, yet they do want him to suffer. I'll attack those in just a bit. But guys, let's go back to the game. Manchester United has lost by 2-0. Not a shock for me, to be honest. If the first game against Wolves was anything to go by, obviously we needed a lot of work to do to come out and go on top in this one. But the lack of options for the boss Erik ten Hag indeed makes it clear that we certainly have got to dig deep into our pockets and sign more serious and important player, as we do bring back all our best players despite the issues we might have with them. Now, Manchester United obviously were below average, especially in that second half. I thought we were totally obliterated by Spurs. They were just having a field day. We could have conceded perhaps 6 goals in that game, to be honest. Casemiro looked a little more disciplined than he was in the first game against Wolves, but clearly it was not even about his indiscipline. It's the fact that the guy is 31, he's got 4 years left on his contract, but certainly Casemiro is best is behind him. We saw him good last season, but I think the intensity of the Premier League, and it keeps increasing every season, and that's why they say this league is so difficult. I think Casemiro on his own will find trouble manning that shielding position in the middle of the park. So for me, it is no doubt that Sofiane Amrabat's bid should be going in. It is good that Fabrizio Romano has confirmed it, that United are still interested in Sofiane Amrabat. We are still trying to look for sources of money to try and go and bid for him. But trust you me, Erik ten Hag ringing the same squad that performed terribly against Wolves shows you he has no options on the bench. There is no depth in that squad. The same midfield, of course, partnering Mason Mount close to Casemiro wasn't working. Mason Mount will cover yards, but he doesn't yield anything with the yards he covers. So obviously, he's always going to struggle to make an impression, and indeed he did struggle. No wonder he was withdrawn. It was such a terrible display. I'll tell you, these 2 African boys, that is Pape Matar and Ves Bissouma, just bossed that midfield like they were born for it. I mean, it was a field day for them. They were just enjoying themselves. I felt, to be honest, that Manchester United were completely subdued in this game. We had a few moments with Anthony hitting the woodwork, and you can struggle to recall a few, a wasted chance for a header from the captain Bruno Fernandes. I think one from Rafael Varane, but there is nothing solid we can write home about this game. We were below average in every sense of the word, and surely the introduction of all the options from Jadon Sancho to Anthony Martial to Pelistri, who was trying to bring on some bit of pace. Of course, that is what you expect from a youngster like him, who is a direct going for goal. Didn't give us anything. It shows you we lack depth in this squad. Guys, I think there is a lot of work to do. There is a lot of work to do. The only positive in this game was the fact that Harry Maguire was left out of the squad, probably as they continue trying to frustrate him to get out of the club. Of course, Ten Hag managed us, saying he got a minor injury in training and he couldn't travel with the team. I don't think that's true, but the fact is, guys, we are terrible, and we've got such a long way to go if we are going to try and match and compete with the likes of Manchester City, Arsenal, who will play in our second game from now. After Nottingham Forest, we travel to Arsenal. Most probably Rasmus Højlund will be starting in that one, making his debut. But guys, we do need Mason Greenwood back in this squad. Guys, we do need Greenwood desperately back in this squad. And I don't care whether he hasn't been playing for 12 months. We need him back and training. And I know this has already been approved. He has been reinstated back into the squad. It is just a matter of, the club going through the processes which they have laid down to bring him back and give him a safe landing. But I see, guys, and this is for me the most important thing I want to talk about today. I see a collective, desperate effort from mean so-called Manchester United supporters. I'll call them Manchester United pretenders, desperately trying to come up with all forms of propaganda to ensure that this boy doesn't return to that team and play football next week as it is planned. I see, certain media, powerful media, of course, for us as Hotspot, who are for the return of Mason Greenwood, we are probably not as powerful as some of these big media, blocks we see. But I think it's desperate, guys. And this is for me the high level of hypocrisy that I see in Manchester United supporters. Listen, you say that Mason Greenwood shouldn't return to the squad because, yes, he was, he's a rapist, whatever you want to call him, a rapist, he's violent, beat up on the girlfriend. We have the videos and what have you. And the reason you give is because you perhaps feel you're so concerned about women, and as Manchester United, we shouldn't condone violence against women. Obviously, not even just Manchester United. No one should condone violence against women. But if you care so much about the victim, who is, in this case, the girlfriend, the soon-to-be wife of Mason Greenwood, the baby mama of Mason Greenwood, if you care so much about her, how then would you wish so much, would you be dying so hard to see the husband lose his career? Do you think it will help him? Because they are back together. That's the thing. They have a child together. They are back together. These two talk to each other. The funny thing is that, and for me this is a painful thing about footballers. These young players are judged by the world, yet they can't speak. And many times when they do come out and speak, people then come out and start pretending to be sorry. But you are judging these players unfairly without listening to them. So many players have had a lot of scandals, and the public judges based on stories we hear. We don't even talk to these players, and unfortunately the nature of their profession is that because you're contracted and you're an active player, you can't talk in the media about things affecting you. You can imagine the mental health of Mason Greenwood. But the victim who speaks to him forgave him. The family of the victim forgave him. Manchester United, the club who had an investigation, forgave him because they spoke to the player, they listened to him. The courts of law listened to him, rather, the police of the United Kingdom summoned him and listened to him. They forgave him. There are no charges against him, but somehow a certain section of supporters who have never listened to Mason Greenwood for one bit find it so important that this boy does not return. How heartless. How heartless. And you're pretending to love this club. You're pretending to have the heart, you're a good heart for the girlfriend, yet you want to destroy the career of her baby daddy, her husband to be. I think, guys, I love you, fam. God bless you, but I think you're a hypocrite. Any Manchester United supporter out there who is pretending to care so much about Mason Greenwood's girlfriend, but is insistent on pushing for this hate propaganda to try and make it difficult for this young boy to come back and play football at United, I think you are a hypocrite. I've said it and feel it. I love you. I respect you. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm also entitled to mine. I think you are a hypocrite because, I mean, if you feel so much for the girlfriend, if she forgave the guy, they have their first child together, they are living together. Suddenly she wants the best for her man. So you can't be praying and dying that even before talking to this player. And for me, this is the sad bit about this. Most of these players are judged without being listened to. You've not heard their side of the story, but you judge them. They are already seeing these things on social media. You can imagine the mental health of him. I saw the charges on Mendy, or the Man City guy, after he was so relieved in that interview after coming out of court and all charges were dropped. But he couldn't talk. But his image was destroyed. This boy was earning lots of money at Manchester City. But just because some girl came out and, girls came out and ganged up against her, his career was gone. Good enough, he was 30. He's 30 and, aging, evening of his career. How about a 21-year-old Mason Greenwood who is judged by people who have not listened to his side of the story? People judge Dele Alli because of his loss of form and what. people were quick to say he's lazy. They judged him left, right, and center, only to find out later in that interview with Gary Neville that actually this boy was dealing with issues. But because he was still active, he couldn't talk for himself. People judge and crucify. Why? How evil can we be? This is the same thing. So for me, I think anyone who doesn't want Mason Greenwood to return, unless if it were the club or the girlfriend or the police, because they listen to his side of the story, I would understand. But for you media to come out there and be so concerned and feel so bad, I hear the image of the club. Stop this hypocrisy, guys. If you do love Manchester United, you support Manchester United because you want to see the club winning. Mason Greenwood is the goals we are lacking. We saw, trust you me, if Greenwood was in that game against Spurs, something different could have happened. I don't think he would miss as many chances as Anthony missed. I don't think he would waste as many balls as Alejandro Garnacho. I mean, if you really care about this club, you should care about an innocent boy, a promising career, a 21-year-old coming back there to fight and contribute to this club and its success. So for me, I'm done with this hypocrisy, and I'm seeing what's happening. We see it. We see people, concocting stories that apparently some staff are going to resign. Some staff are threatening to protest. Others are, going to stop supporting Manchester United. Oh, come on, spare us. You stop supporting the club. This club has been here before all of us. But come on, stop this hypocrisy, that heartless hypocrisy that is trying to see a young kid's career, die without reason. Players need to be protected. And by the way, this Mason Greenwood and the consistent cases against players lately should teach us a lesson. Players, the nature of contracts players sign, they should be given an opportunity to speak when such issues come out, because it is wrong for the world in this day of social media, where people are on social media day and night bashing these young players. It is sad. They go through a lot. They are judged without hearing their side. They are dying. Their mental health is so terrible. It's so disorganized. I think for me, for a fact, I think the contracts they sign should allow them to speak when such scandals happen. This is not the first time we are seeing scandals with players. I think, by the way, all the best players in the world have issues and scandals. Cristiano Ronaldo has had issues with, some, I think, hoes some time back. A certain hoe was trying to say, he sexually harassed her. David Beckham had issues when he was playing at Manchester United. Ronaldinho had issues with alcohol and stuff. These issues are there with these talented players. But what has always been happening consistently is their clubs will back them up because they talk to them and listen to them. They know these are young players earning a lot of money. We are talking a young player. Mason Greenwood is only 21. He's earning, I think, £75,000 per week. That's a lot of money. These are young players who earn a lot of money. And we know what money can do to people. They need to be mentored and guided. One mistake should not see 200, 300 million fans of Manchester United attacking the youngster when everyone who speaks to him, everyone around him has forgiven him. What is your motive? What's your intention? I sense a lot. For me, it is sad. It is painful. But, guys, Mason Greenwood is back in that squad, and Manchester United are doing the right thing. They are determined to bring him back. Perhaps now more than ever, after the first two games that clearly have shown that we need him, perhaps that is going to happen. We can't risk not bringing back Mason Greenwood with this bunch of mediocre players we have up front, just because certain sections of fans have got their sentiments and personal opinions and they feel so holy like they have never sinned in their lives. Nonsense, guys. Chill these hypocrites, guys. Subscribe to the Hotspot. I'll catch you later.